Beautiful handwriting.
Yes, she's really amazing. Do you want me to read it out loud?
Yes, of course. If you don't mind.
Okay. My darling Jester, that's me.
Oh, she loves you.
I do so hope your journeys have been safe, fruitful, and wondrous. I've always wished you to see the beauty of the world around us, and while the circumstances perhaps were not the most favorable, it has allowed you the freedom to become your own woman.
That's nice.
I spent a lot of time inside it. I told you this, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. To show all of Wildmount and beyond the gifts you have to offer and the joys you have to give. My sweet girl, how I miss you. I miss her too so much. Your laughter, your energy. I've been sick in your absence. Oh, because I'm such a healer, you know, and I took care of her, so that makes me so sad. But it is the trial any mother must endure, I suppose. You're on your own now, and while I will always miss that little girl, I'm equally eager to see the woman you will become. Tensions here are less, but not absent. Given time, I hope things will vanish into the past, and you may come to see me once more. Until then, I've included a small trifle. Some things to keep you comfortable, creating, and free. I love you. Your Ruby, my mama. Marion Lavorre. She doesn't tell many people her real name, you know.
Marion. It's a beautiful name.
Isn't it?
Nice letter.
I love my mom so much.
It looks like she loves you very much too.
You gather your things the next morning. Okay.
Before I go to sleep,
All right.
I want to use my pearl of power and my power pearl and regain
Power
a
pearl.
third level spell. And I want to cast sending on my mama. And I'm just going to say, "Hi, Mom. I got a new spell. I want to say thank you for the package you sent me. I know that it was really hard for you to do that, and I love you so much, and I hope everything's okay with you. And I got your letter and the ink, and I think it's so..."
As you're talking, you hear in your mind this gasp. Chester, I don't know how, but it's so good to hear from you. Did you get my package?
Oh no! Can I respond to it?
No.
Oh no! I don't have it.
Pause. Well, wherever you are, I love you. And I hope you are well. If you... It cuts off. Not
Just
taking
tell her.
any sort of
Tell her.
custom
The
out at
little
this time.
Sapphires here to see you, Ruby.
You hear a voice from behind her go, "I'm sorry, what?" And from peeking over the shoulder, as your vision focuses into the chamber beyond, low lit beyond just the series of candles that are set around the single mirror, you see the beautiful red skin of your mother and the dark hair tumbled past the shoulder as she's been wearing a mostly laced up bodice. As the other servant is in the process of lacing and tying it, glances over her shoulder, kind of pushes past the edge of the chair and goes,
It's me.
you see her smile brightly, her kind of faintly white, glowing with a hint of yellowish gold tint to her eyes, brighten immediately. And goes, "Well, come in. Please, close the door for me." Nadine closes the door and goes, I very confused by this mistress, but whatever you require. At which point the other one who's lacing is still like pulling on the back of the bodice, and without even looking at her, Marion just kind of pushes her aside and goes, "Shh."
I ran forward and gave her a big hug.
Okay, as you kind of give her a hug, she kind of holds you there and goes, you look different.
It's a spell. I'm actually still me. Don't worry.
There's a nod, and their kind of tension in her body melts as her arms kind of enclose on your shoulders and back and pulls you in close in this moment of warmth and relief that washes over both of you at being reunited here in this chamber. The two servants kind of sit in the back awkwardly, not quite understanding entirely either, and whispering to each other, while Marion just continues to hold you and rock you back and forth, and just goes, "My beautiful Jester, I've missed you so much."
I missed you so much. I missed you so much. I wanted to come home sooner, but we got distracted because we went to the Empire.
But I remember you telling me you were going to go there.
Oh, that's right. I sent you messages.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was it? I have not traveled beyond the boundaries.
It's really like kind of cold, and the people are pretty strict, but there are some really, really nice people that you can meet. I met a lot of friends. You should meet them.
I'd be happy to. And
They're downstairs.
She kind of traces her fingers along her face, goes like,
Yep.
Can I
put her hand on my horn so she can tell
she
it's still
feels
there.
it, and she's like, "Can I see my little girl?"
Is it okay with
They're fine. He dropped the illusion, and even though she knew, it wasn't until actually she gets an opportunity to look upon your face and your hair and your eyes and your smile that you watch just life breathe in like a renewed fire into the chest of your mother. Immediately she grabs the sides of your cheeks and pulls you in and goes, "I've missed you so much," and just brings you in and kisses you on the forehead and starts running her fingers through your hair, and there's just...
careful of the weasel. His name is Sprinkle, Mama.
He's very adorable.
I'm going to say I left Nugget downstairs with you guys.
Okay. After he beat on you.
Yeah.
She immediately starts kind of brushing your hair with her fingers on the side. It's like, "You've gone so far and traveled so much. You have to tell me about what you've done."
I will, of course. Do you want me to finish lacing you up? Your performance is tonight.
Yes, it is. Please, do not mind. She knows what to do. And so now in front of the mirror with you behind her, she's looking at you through the mirror over her shoulder as you're helping lace at the back of her bodice. And
We went to a town and it was burned down, and we killed a bunch of gnolls and we took off their ears, and then we went to another city and we fought these fish people in this swamp, and it was really crazy. And then, oh my gosh, you should meet this monk girl that I know. She's crazy and she fights with her fists and also with a staff, and she's really strong. And there's this other girl who has wings. And I tell her all about it.
all right, and she's just enthralled, just listening to all this. And I would never have thought my little Jester would be seeing the world and fighting creatures and...
Fighting so much. You should see how strong I've gotten.
I want to see how strong you've gotten.
Well, I mean, okay. Do you want me to punch you?
Perhaps wait till after the performance?
Okay.
I've just applied my... Anyway. With that point, she stands up, and Nadine helps her, puts her, the rest of her dress on, and it's this beautiful, deep purple, kind of satin-type material. It's low cut, with this beautiful long, kind of almost training sleeve that hangs down past her knees when her arms are at her side. Puts on her necklace, almost like what looks to be a faint velvet choker that kind of pulls across the back of the neck there, and in the center is a small blue gem that she keeps to remind herself of you.
Oh.
She takes a moment to look in the mirror and, well, how do I look?
You look beautiful, Mama.
Then perhaps you should go join your friends.
Oh, right. I can't disguise myself anymore, though. Can I borrow a cloak or something?
Perhaps. You can technically spend higher spell slots to cast a lower level spell,
Shit.
if you want to. It's up to
Okay,
you.
yeah, that's all what I'll do. I'll cast it again.
Okay.
I want to see a show. What could happen?
What could happen?
All my spell slots.
Okay. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. And I run back downstairs.
Okay, you run back downstairs to join the rest. All right.
Got two of them.
As you've all been sitting in your seats enjoying your small table snacks, the chamber has closed, the lights have shifted, and there is a bit of anticipation and tension in the room. As the musicians begin to slowly build up to a new type of song that begins to fill the space, you hear the gentle footfalls down the stairs, curving down from the right-hand side to the central staircase, the beautiful visage of the Ruby of the Sea, in her dark dress, the train dangling up about 6 or 7 steps behind her as her fingers trace the sides of the railing. She comes down, takes a breath, and begins to gently sing to the audience around you. And you watch as everyone in the room begins to lean forward in trance, the beautiful voice filling the interior of this inn. The lights seem to almost flicker and shift with her emotional intent of the song. As her voice fills the space with warmth, the light seems to brighten ever so gently with each crescendo. Even the bartenders themselves have stopped. They've seen performances like this hundreds of times. It's still a performance that draws attention from all across the coast and beyond. Jester, you've seen this many times as well, but it doesn't ever lose its luster. You see as all the tables themselves are just quiet as she steps into the center of the room, kind of walking from table to table, tracing the edges with her fingers, making eye contact with each of the patrons. You see as that older man and the younger woman sitting at the table both kind of sit comfortably watching, but can't help but smile in the presence of this fantastic vocalist. You see at another table, there is a rather burly-looking man who is well-dressed, though a bit rugged for what he's wearing, who is flanked by 2 dwarven bodyguards, it looks like, and he's leaning in real intent on the table towards her, and as she steps by, he kind of touches her hand, and she kind of touches it and pulls away a bit and gives him a wink and continues singing, and he pulls back into his chair, resting. You watch as one of the other tables has these 3 merchants that have been there since the moment you arrived, who seem to be eagerly counting out coins and like pushing them to the edge of the table to tip her, and as she passes by, she kind of glances off to one of the assistants who rushes over and scoops them off the table. She does not accept the tips herself.
Classy.
But nevertheless, for those of you who this is your first time here within the Lavish Chateau, this is definitely one of the most beautiful performances you've seen, and you immediately see why Jester's mother, why the Ruby of the Sea, or at least one of the many reasons that she's renowned across these lands. As she completes the piece, she ascends back up the stairs, back to her chambers, vanishing from sight as everyone within stands up and begins clapping and cheering.
Bravo! I see it. Yeah, nice.
We'll put it in post.
Guys head all upstairs and eventually make your way to the 3rd landing, and the chamber is open and there Nadine's waiting and escorts you in. Beautiful chambers with a large canopy bed. You can see silks in the windows that have elements of gems and beads kind of knitted into these braided cords that you can imagine during the daylight would kind of add bits of color speckles throughout the chamber. You see a balcony that overlooks the entirety of the wharf below, and also note this to be the balcony where Jester got in trouble. But there you can see within this music's exactly.
It's Marquez.
Or Marquez.
Marquez.
Head is nuts there now.
Very confused by that exchange. But chairs are being brought up. More food is being brought up behind you. 2 more bottles of wine have been fetched to your chamber, and their kind of robe placed on, most of the jewelry removed, but still fully made up and smiling as you enter. You see the beautiful red-skinned Ruby of the Sea. Her dark hair now tied up behind and resting down the back of her robe with like a single curl that kind of runs in front of the face on the right side. Kind of faintly white, almost yellow gold eyes. The horns that kind of curl backwards and then shift off to the sides abruptly before curving back a little bit. It's this kind of beautiful curl that accentuates the way her hair falls behind. It gives this kind of almost a wreath and a crowned look to her, this almost regal presentation, even when she's just wearing comfortable robes. But as you all enter one by one, she goes, "Please, know that you are guests of me here within this. Call this your home for as long as you'd like to stay."
We could stay here forever if we wanted to.
That is
I don't think that's what she means.
most.
Well, you would have to eventually pay, but you are welcome to stay for a while under my name. Please, I would like to know the names if you would like to introduce.
This is Ford. I met him earliest. He's a half-orc, and he's growing his teeth back, and he's very, very handsome.
I can see that.
It's a pleasure. I can see where Jester gets her good looks from.
Well, I can see where she speaks honestly in front of her mother as well, and she puts her hand out.
I'll give it a kiss.
She kind of pulls away, but like rests just a moment on your fingertips before pulling away and kind of smiles. I can see you are a very strong-willed and protective man. Do you watch over Jester in my stead?
I do. I try to.
Good. I feel better knowing that she's safe in your care. Anyway.
This is Bo. She's really strong. She's the one I was telling you about that can fight things with a
Right,
stick.
you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
Bo, it is a pleasure.
So,
She kind of reaches and shakes your
I
hand.
also kissed Ford. Do the fingertip thing back.
The pleasure is mine as well.
Caleb.
This is Caleb. He's a wizard. He has a lot of fire and stuff. He likes his books, and he used to smell bad, but he doesn't anymore. He likes water now.
You have a beautiful singing voice. Thank you very much for the performance. You have a very charming daughter.
Thank you and thank you. You, I can sense a bit rough in the social graces, so I am very honored that you would come to see my performance. Is that a Zemnian accent?
I am afraid so, yeah.
It is. It shows that you've traveled some distance to be here.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Fish out of water, yeah.
Well, you found plenty of it here, so perhaps the fish has found a home.
This is not. She's very, very, very brave, even though she's very small. Be careful of your rings.
I wouldn't steal from your mother, and if I did, we would solve the crime.
That's right, because we were detectives and we're really good at solving cases. She's kind of my partner in crime.
Well, I was not aware this was the dress of a detective.
Oh, am I still in my?
Yes, you are.
I will. I will drop my form.
This is what you really.
He takes a step back. Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh, don't apologize.
Always with the teeth.
This is
seagull
not.
feathers, like, tasted
This is seagull blood. This is not human blood.
The world is made of all kinds.
If you need an extra seagull or two, I have 7 to spare, and I would happily leave you 1 or 2 of those.
They are the rats of the city. I have had plenty, but I thank you.
Or-
Well, I think you are very adorable. It is a pleasure to meet you, Not.
You are adorable.
Well, she's very nice. It's lovely to meet you. I'll curtsy.
She grabs the edges of her robe and kind of counter curtsies halfway, and while she's sitting in her chair. And this one,
This is.
Yeah, I'll pop back up.
He's got
We're
pink
doing
hair.
that.
He used to live in a cemetery. He doesn't know a lot of things. He doesn't know anything about sex, and he drinks dead people.
So,
interesting.
Oh no.
less of a cemetery, more of a graveyard. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure is mine. Well, you've not been outside of this graveyard that my daughter speaks of.
Only recently, yeah.
A man fresh to the world of vice, I presume?
Aware of it, but just trying to only dip a couple toes in.
Oh, my daughter will break you of any habits of ignorance very quickly.
I don't know what that means.
Good.
I would like to know what that means.
You carry very interesting companions.
I know. They've saved my life, you know, and I've saved theirs, because I'm a really good cleric. Did you know that I do that now?
I did not.
I can heal people, Mom.
That is incredible.
She can heal people. She is able to.
She's been very helpful in a few frays. We owe her quite a bit.
Well, I am grateful that you all have kept her safe. And I am excited to hear that you've been able to do such incredible things. But why, is this your friend, the one you mentioned before? The traveler?
Oh, no, he's not. He's not here.
No, but the healing.
The healing? Yeah.
Wow. Oh, very well. Well, that is
know.
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Here, let's have some drinks. The servants begin to
Here, have
uncork the
some
wine,
drinks.
and
What do you prefer to drink?
to be honest, that one. And she points to one of the two bottles that were brought up. You can see it has like a, as opposed to the smooth wine bottle, this has almost a faceted gem-type crystal design to it. The cork itself has a deep crimson ribbon that's tied around it, and you can see there's a little wax seal placed upon it.
Oh, hold on. Let me go get the aerator.
Oh, what's that?
It's a cantrip. You begin to tell her tales of the adventures you've had and kind of recount how you met, and you talk for a number of hours or so, and she's smiling and listening and engaging. And while she is this beautiful matronly woman, there are moments where you can see that kind of warmth and pride creep through when she looks at Jester, and you can also see that there is a very reserved and controlled wisdom and intelligence to her. She's a very perceptive woman that asks the right questions at the right moments to throw you off guard a bit and also get a bit of honesty. And you begin to see how the quality of her companionship comes from her insightfulness and ability to bring comfort to any conversation. And though you had all these expectations and you have your guard built up, you can't help but strangely feel welcome and open with the person that you've just met. And you take a moment to think on that and see, this is really an incredible woman. But you've all said so much about yourselves. I am afraid there has not been too much happening here that is different. Performances are great. There is two new songs that I've requested written that should be completed by the end of the year.
I can't wait to hear them.
I can't wait to perform them for you.
What happened with Lord Sharp? Did he cause too much of his thing?
Not with me. He knows better than to go after a well-connected and mostly innocent figure. I have been working to try and get those charges eliminated, but it is a difficult process. He is a man who, his pride is very important to him. So, in time. But for now, perhaps just do more of what you've been doing to not look like yourself once you leave this space.
Hypothetically, if he were to pass away, would the charges disappear with him?
I mean, yes. But I would not insinuate such a dark thing.
No.
Remember what we talked about? Criminal
That's
penalties.
murder. That's murder.
Yep, that's one. A1, bingo.
On scale.
Yeah.
All right.
We do really good things most of the time, though.
Well, what has brought you here? I mean, I'm happy to have you, but if you are just here to see me perform, then I will...
We should show her the letter.
Oh, yes. We're solving a mystery.
Yeah, like, remember we told you we were detectives?
Right.
We're also here for
He has the letter.
some other forward things, but he has the letter. We're trying to figure out the provenance of this, that's a detective word, of this letter and who wrote it and who's it for and stuff. What's that?
Indeed. Would you mind if I asked your mom?
Oh, not at all. Go for it.
Just because you're so established in this region, so well known and connected as you mentioned, does the name Marius Lavorre ring any bells?
Not directly, but I may be able to ask around.
Well, if you wouldn't be too much of an inconvenience.
I would, perhaps. She hands it back to you.
Does that letter say Avantika on it also?
Yeah,
It does,
says
yeah.
Avantika.
Does that name mean anything to you?
Unfortunately, no, I have not come across an Avantika.
How about the captain?
Or
Well,
Iona.
there are many captains here in the port.
Indeed.
I apologize, but I know many.
Ionos is another name mentioned in the letter.
Ionis is the time of year? No.
No, it's
When is
many
it?
thanks to you. I think it's an I.
Oh, yeah.
Ionos.
I don't know an Ionos either. You do recall that Ionos is a member of the Jagan Toth family up in Shady Creek Run.
That's right.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, that was the connection with who that letter was
To the
intended.
Iron
towards.
Shepherds.
Yes.
Right, okay. Okay.
That's okay.
Another dead end.
We'll
But
figure
continue
it
to
out.
ask. This is a vibrant city, and there are many people that come and go. Perhaps you could find somebody to help you out there. And I will continue to ask around. I'm just being kind of careful with my socialization these days.
Please, we don't want to get you in any sort of trouble.
Well, it's no trouble. I just...
Socialization, why, Mama?
I've been having some problems with a client.
What are you talking about?
It's fine. It's fine. He's a very intense man who relocated here from Fiolin about 2 months ago. A burly fellow named Algar Diomen.
Funny hair.
Yes, kind of strange, interesting taste in presentation.
Was he the guy that was here tonight?
Yeah, kind of buff.
That was him, yes.
I was
He
gonna
is
miss that.
very
Is that last name again?
Daniel?
Diomen. Dyomin. He's become very possessive. He was been a client of mine a number of times, and while his conversation was on the dollar scale of individuals I've been with, he paid well and did not seem to bring a problem, but has become more and more possessive. And only in this past week I've been hearing of him threatening and telling other clients of mine to back away. I do not enjoy people threatening my clientele or my business. And I've twice now explained to him precisely the nature of our arrangement and relationship, but that does not seem to be enough for him. Now, I have the Zeleso of the Chateau are my guardians, and they're very good about keeping watch. And I have my friends in the archways, but the more I look into it, I believe Algar works directly for the Concord within the city, so he is with his own powerful allies as well. And while
The
Clovis Concord.
this is my first time dealing with scenarios like this, but I'd prefer to avoid any sort of direct confrontation by any means necessary, any bloodshed within the chateau. So,
We lure him outside of the chateau and then we kill him.
I don't want him to hurt you, Mom.
If you're trying to break up with him, you could tell him that you have the creepies, the crawlies down there, and that might make him scare him away.
I appreciate your cleverness, little nut. However, rumors travel quickly.
Oh, that would ruin you for the other clients too.
For some of them, perhaps.
Smart.
And you're unable to speak to the law here.
He has not broken the law. And his friends in some places enforce the law. So that is where my conundrum lies.
And what exactly does he do for the Clovis Conclave?
I honestly don't. I'm not certain what kind of work he does, though he often brags about his importance, as men are wont to do. He does seem rather wealthy, and he bears enough respect. Perhaps the wharf master may know more.
Maybe we can get him to fall in love with someone else.
That would be helpful, though. I mean, I don't mean to brag, but good luck.
I mean, we could just kick his ass, intimidate the shit out of him. Tell him he's not a fuck with you anymore.
If he is
Yeah,
beyond...
but that links it back to her.
Be careful how you dance around that.
I'm sure discretion is appreciated.
Very much. The old woman in the lighthouse has been here for some time. Could ask her, perhaps.
The old woman,
Woman
in
at
the
the lighthouse?
in the lighthouse?
Yes.
What's her
Someone
name?
lives up there?
Yes, the keeper of it, the light keeper.
Does she have a name?
Gladys, I think?
I don't mean to pry into your business too much, but are your appointments exclusively here, or have you ventured to his place of
No, they only meet here. It needs to be on my terms. It needs to be in my realm of safety.
Understood. Do you know where we might be able to find him? Does he say where he stays?
No. He's also been braggadocious, but not forthcoming with personal information either, which is unfortunately a sign of perhaps dubious and or dangerous business.
Yeah.
He's told me twice he wishes to one day show me his secret, his great servant beneath the city, but...
What?
His great servant beneath the city.
Understood. I'm sure with a personality as large as his, it won't be too hard to find some information on him with some gentle poking around.
And just speaking hypothetically, it would not upset you any if he were to disappear,
Accidentally.
not be around.
I do not believe he's done anything that would warrant anything too disastrous. But if he can be ensured that his presence is not welcome and agrees that is the case, that would be optimal.
Well, we will try our best to reach the optimum result.
Do you know if there's a place where the lowlifes of the city like to congregate? The underground?
There are many.
Yeah.
There is over here, and there's the skew, which is the general where most of the riffraff and common folk live. But if you're looking for more social environs all across the restless wharf, there is the open quay. Those two places, a lot of curious folk wander and celebrate fisticuff. It's not uncommon to find bodies in alleys.
I love celebrating fisticuffs.
That you do.
Elder Diamond?
What was his last name?
Diamond.
Diamond.
Algard, right?
Algar?
Diamond Algar. A-L-G-A-R.
Jester, I have to say, I don't feel any great rush to continue on out of the city until you at least feel that your mother is safe and
Of course.
protected.
Really? You guys will stay here?
Please, I do not mean to impose my
Mama,
responsibility.
they're going to take care of you.
Yeah, I mean, you did kind of take care of us in those early days, even if you didn't know it, but just kind of Jester kind of picked up the bill a lot. So we
I
owe
ran
you.
out of money. Thank you for sending that package, by the way.
Of course. I'm sorry it took a little longer than anticipated.
No,
but-
no, it's fine.
You mentioned the lighthouse. Would we need anything to enter the lighthouse? Some sort of token of familiarity or some name that would maybe get us a tour and to meet the proper people there?
As far as I know, there is but one person there. I have not met them directly, only heard of them.
Gail, right?
Gladys.
Gladys.
She is the light keeper of the lighthouse. I know that heard that she can be rather ornery, so perhaps you just need to win over her interest.
All right.
She's a bit older in human years, so be respectful, I guess.
What are
We
these
love old people.
interests you are referring to?
Sorry?
What interests you said to our friend, Mr. Clay here?
I don't know. I don't know what her interests are, but perhaps if you could find out, or at least not make her extremely angry.
Well, it is good that we have the world's two best detectives with us. That should be an easy task to fulfill.
Us.
Oh, that's right.
You haven't seen us solve a crime yet, but
We do a really good job.
Sure.
Jester looks extremely motivated. Perhaps we taking care of this simple errand for you might help compensate for a few nights' stay.
I do not require compensation, but if it makes you feel better about it, certainly.
Thank you.
You're quite the gentleman.
He's actually not the gentleman. We met a guy who goes by the name Gentleman.
Have you ever heard of him?
Oh, she's like, oh, okay, got ya. I don't know who knows who.
He's blue as well, and he's always sweaty.
yeah,
Dark hair.
he's wet.
Yeah,
He's a wet
he's always
walker.
really wet.
Oh, wet walker.
Yes, I know of him.
Oh,
You know of the gentleman? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because we're not cool with him so much.
Well, I know of a man of you describe, of bluish skin and quite sweaty. Yes, he has come through before.
Was he nice or was he not nice?
He was very nice. He was very dashing.
Yeah.
I told you about him before.
What? What? Wait a minute. But not the gentleman, though.
I don't know of the name, the gentleman, but
He has dark hair. He has got like black hair. That's really long.
And blue skin.
Oh my God, your mother knows the gentleman. That's so cool.
It goes a little deeper than that, Lucy. Is that happening? That's why you always have a little sweat right there.
No!
But this is why you can do like, kind of like watery stuff, right? Like cold stuff, right? Can you do that?
tell me more of this gentleman, please.
My gosh. Okay, well, he lives in Zadash, and he lives in a bar, and he's got long black hair, and he's really like, kind of charming, sort of, but kind of snarky at the same time.
Well dressed, smooth voice, little patch of dark hair on the chest right there.
The temple nip.
Wait, yeah.
Licky tap.
Leaky tap.
Leaky tap.
Not the leaky nip.
That's a very, very
Wait,
different.
what's the name of it?
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
In the other book.
Name of the nursery.
Dash evening nip.
No!
That's the gentleman. The evening nip. Yes.
Yes, the evening nip is
Okay, we're
the
combining all of our taverns.
oh my God, we're freaking out. We're freaking out.
This is huge.
We had a gift for him or something? We have many gifts or something?
Yeah. We may provide. We have nothing to offer, but we
don't-
can provide many gifts.
I know.
He has a barkeep man named Clive
I'd like a
Vince.
drink. I
He
have no
knows a
clue.
guy around here too named Father Pierce.
I don't know about anything in that regard, but he wasn't named the gentleman when I met him.
What was he?
I never asked.
I have a vial of his spit. Can you analyze it? I don't know.
She kind of smirks a bit and says, "Oh, honey." No,
He did wear lots of rings on his fingers.
we had a bit of a romance years ago.
How many years ago, by the way?
I've told you about Babanon.
Babanon.
Babanon Dasar.
I didn't ask if that was his name, though.
Your dad's name is Bob?
B.A.B.
Wait, Babanon?
Babenon.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I have no idea what his name is now.
Babanon. Babanon Dosal.
Barbasol.
Wait, Babanon what?
Babylon?
Labrador.
Babylon? Here we go.
You say he's in Zadash now.
But yeah, you said he lived in the ocean.
That's what he told me.
What? Desar?
The song.
Oh my god. What if the gentleman is my dad?
Wait, what?
Are we saying if or are we saying is?
Well, we don't know for sure. I mean,
Your mother might know
do you
for
have
sure.
a picture of him?
No,
Do you have
no.
a drawing of him?
Why don't you draw the
You
gentleman?
draw a
You
picture.
probably got drawings of him in your book.
This is the perfect time for a game of Pictionary. I'm so excited.
I will ask.
Both of you, don't look.
Yeah, you draw one and she draws one.
Oh,
and you draw.
Yeah.
Oh, draw!
Police style.
I'd like to think the party is legitimately this excited.
Oh yeah, oh very much. Well, and you,
I don't understand what's happening.
This is the best episode of Maury ever.
you can see Marion seems both present and not. Like she's trying to kind of process all of this.
What is this?
She reaches over and goes to her counter and begins drawing, and she's not anywhere near as good an artist as her daughter.
This is pure gold. What's happening
It is amazing what's happening over here. This is
Oh, you're physically. Oh,
oh yeah.
I'm glad that an offhanded joke about the gentleman led to this.
The cartoon character Daria.
those are some huge sweat drops.
Wait, let me see.
It looks like Daria.
Go to.
Daria with a beard.
Jester's a really good drawer, even though I'm not.
I keep hoping.
No.
Yep. There's no getting around it.
Imagine this is like Da Vinci. It's very Scott Pilgrim. Have you seen this one?
Oh my god, yes.
Are you drawing that right now?
Well, yeah, if you're gonna draw a picture, I'm gonna draw one real fast too.
Oh, we're taking more time, Matthew. Matt's a really good drawer.
Not at this speed, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Have you seen
Bullshit.
this boy?
And she's not a good artist either. She's like,
Oh, that's so much better. Look, it looks the same.
That is him.
Let me see, let's see.
Oh,
Does it look like the same person when we look at the two drawings?
you can make a connection.
Okay.
So is it the same person? We need to know that.
Jester, that is quite the revelation.
Wow.
Your dad, I mean, Baba Don, is tracking us.
Very attractive man.
He has our blood.
I am so confused by this, but you've talked to him, you've seen him, you know where he is.
Yeah, he's in Zadash. Do you want to go see him?
I can't believe.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to send him a message, okay? And then we can see if it's him. If it's him. I sent the message to the gentleman.
Okay, what do you say?
Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh fuck.
Oh my god. Is your name Babinando Sol? Have you ever been to the Menagerie Coast? Oh my god, do you know the Ruby of the Sea? Oh my god.
He's gonna think he's being wiretapped.
Okay. So the spell sends. No response.
Maybe you should say, "This is Jester."
No, he's gotten my messages before. He knows it's me.
That message probably interrupted a threesome.
Yeah.
He does have, I've seen, him having sex and stuff. We haven't seen it, but we know.
Probably doesn't bother your mom.
But I wanted him to be true to her forever. I'm going to try one more time.
Oh gosh. Okay.
What do I have? Is it nighttime already?
It's getting late.
I mean, it's late evening. It's probably close to midnight by now.
Okay, this is. I'm going to think about what I'm going to say on this one.
No chance.
I'm using my Pearl of Power. It's my last 3rd level spell. Okay. Hello, gentlemen. This is Jester. Please respond. Just yes. If you've seen the ruby. Please. Was that 20?
Oh.
Oh, shit!
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Please tell me it plays at those exact pauses.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
I want to hear some like 1988 phone voicemail message.
Oh yeah.
Thrown on top of that.
Gentlemen, on the phone right now.
There is a palpable pause of nothing. And then he responds. No, that's preposterous.
That's preposterous, he says.
Maybe it is.
Did the guy that you know use words like preposterous?
I know a lot of people use the word preposterous. It's a fairly
That's a fairly standard
word.
Is it? I don't.
It is.
It feels okay. Preposterous.
I'm sorry. Maybe I just got a bit excited. My apologies.
I didn't even think to ask about him in the dash because I thought he would be in the ocean.
In the ocean.
Yeah, he told Mama he was in the ocean.
So they had to leave and take care of some business on the sea. Never saw him again.
Just like a man.
You're not wrong. But, though he may be gone, he left me with the greatest gift I've ever had, so. And she kind of runs her hands through your hair once more. For that, I'm thankful.
Do you still love him?
Love is a funny thing. There's still a part of my heart that will always be his. But it's been decades. You move on.
Decades.
Holy shit.
That could mean literally 2 decades.
You're
That's
60.
okay. Or 3.
I know, like.
Do you not know how old you are?
Of course I know how old I am. I'm just questioning. My mom's math is old.
Decades could be 20 years.
Yeah.
Or 30.
I'm
Or
50. 50 years old. I kick.
Regardless, you can see she's kind of flushed in her face and her.
We've gone through a lot tonight, so maybe we'll just leave you to your peace, and you need to process some things. And then in the morning, we'll go not murder this guy.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yes, I see what you did there.
Regardless,
Is there a thing? Oh, well.
I will have rooms arranged. I will send the servants to get it taken care of. You will have the finest suites of the inn for the better part of this week, and longer if need be. Just let me know. You can see she's like a bit shaken by everything, but it's trying to put on the facade that she is good. Anyway, it is a pleasure. Thank you for the companionship, for the words, for the stories, and for bringing me my little sapphire. I should probably sleep. Good
Indeed.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if you need anything to be shown, Todd, I have friends who can help you.
Oh, on that
Don't
note.
understand what that
It's a freebie. You could have sex with someone.
Oh,
Well,
Oh, wow.
That's fine. Let's go ahead.
I was going to ask if she could recommend any bookstores, but I was mistaken about what the topic was. So.
No, you might not have been. I don't know.
Can you recommend any bookstores here in the city?
I don't really go out to the bookstores. I have books brought to me. But you may look around. There are a handful, I'm certain.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's call it a night. Thank you.
Good night. And she pours her glass full.
Shit.
Holds it and kind of sleep well. And she kisses you on the forehead.
Good night, Mama.
Good night, Chester. Closes the door.
We're here to see Mama.
Of course, I assume that is the case.
Knocks on the door. At that point, the door opens up a bit, and peeking through is the Ruby of the Sea, Marion, who hair is like perfectly curled, even without an evening of performance. Smiles at the sight of all of you at the door, and kind of looks curiously at the large skirt-faring turtle. Hello.
Do you have company?
Not at the moment, no.
Can we come in and talk to you for just a second?
Oh, Chester. Yeah. Please do come inside, everyone. Come on. You all make your way into the chamber.
I'll drop the disguise spell once we're inside.
Okay. She kind of shoos out her servants. The door closes.
Oh. This is Yasha? Has she met Yasha?
She is not. She's like, oh my goodness, it's so nice to meet you, Yasha. Shakes her hand, and Yasha kind of awkwardly. Hi. And just kind of looks to the rest of you and leans towards the back wall and crosses her arms. Not one for social graces necessarily. But seemingly like looking at Marion, looking at Jester, looking at Marion, kind of can see the relation. Marion is now sits down in front of her her mirror and her kind of little table set up in the corner, and spins back towards the rest of you. So, welcome back. There is no performance tonight, I apologize, but if you would like us to provide food for you, or whatever you like, please, do not bother them to let me know.
So you know that guy?
There are a number of guys that I know,
That
yes.
was bugging you?
Algar, yes.
We went to go talk to him, but he had already left.
He left?
Yes, he had fled the city. Apparently, things happened. They were real bad or something. I don't know.
Huh. Well, that may very well be a great turn of luck in my benefit, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for looking into that.
Of course, yeah, we were going to talk to him and everything, but he's gone, so...
Well, that makes me feel more comfortable. Thank you very much.
Of course.
I appreciate that.
Do you guys want to eat anything?
Yes, I do. Very hungry.
Anything really.
Very well.
delicious.
I will ensure that you are all properly taken care of this night. And she goes ahead and brings the servants back in. A meal is placed for the rest of you. And as the evening progresses and you take a bit of time to rest, you're...
Take a short rest.
Yes, yeah, you're going to take a short rest, and you guys manage to enjoy probably one of the better meals you've had in a while.
Jester, why did you lie to your mom?
Yeah.
Is my
You
mom
should
still
not-
in this room?
We're whispering. She can't hear us.
Look, here's the thing.
You guys are eating downstairs. They're not bringing room service up into her chambers. So.
Oh, so we're no longer with Marion.
Not at the moment,
Okay.
no.
Look, I don't want her getting in trouble for anything that
Why
happened.
would she get in trouble? We did
I
it.
don't know. The less she knows, the better. What if she found out something and she judged me for it because we did something bad?
What if she finds out you lied to her and judges you for that?
She won't. Why would she find out?
You know, I had the same thought, but really, either she believes Chester and no big deal, or she doesn't believe Chester and knows that it's taken care of.
You should never lie to your mother.
Well, I usually don't. It's just to protect her. It is a white lie.
All right.
You hear the heavy footfalls of Blood making his way down the stairs and goes and finds a corner just to keep an eye. And then Marion, now dressed in her casual evening gown, which in itself is still regal and beautiful, and trails behind her up the stairs as she descends, comes to join you at the table and sits and kind of smiles to the rest of you and gives a renewed nod to Yasha, whom she just met. Well, I'm very happy to see that you've made a good group of friends, a travel family. Just warms my heart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it bad? What did I do?
You
Is
didn't
it
do
bad?
anything. You didn't do anything. No, this is very good that we.
Jester feels like perhaps that she is imposing bringing us, all of us here, and we were trying to convince her that is
Not
silly.
in the slightest, Jester. This is no imposition. I'm just happy to have you home for a bit.
I'm happy to be home for a bit.
How long do you intend to stay?
Oh, well, I don't know. We're here for Ford, really, so it's up to him.
That's not true. This is your home. It's where you're from.
But weren't you trying to find out about the guys?
Yeah, we have time.
Ford swallowed a ball and it's inside of him now, and he doesn't know what is going on.
We're
so
gonna tell the truth about that.
I have a friend who had a similar problem years ago. If you would like, there is a physician we could have take a look at you and see if we can find a way to no longer have that problem.
Oh man, I want to hear that story.
I would be glad to.
Mama, it's not that kind
You
of
have a
ball
friend who
that you
swallowed a stone?
Frau Lavorre, you have such a lovely daughter. She's so charming and such a spitfire. It has been such a pleasure to get to know her. I've been curious for weeks now, almost months, isn't it? I think it's almost months, what she was like as a child. Because she's such a joy now.
Young Jester was rambunctious, curious, ever running off, getting into, well, trouble and finding trouble, making trouble. For me, it was a joy. She was very quick to learn, ever smiling, brightening any chamber she walked into. She had a good sense for who needed to be taken down a peg.
So she was always a prankster.
Very much so. More so around the adolescence, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
But she's always been sweet, inspirational.
Very sweet. See, I'm very sweet.
Very proud of her.
Do you have any good embarrassing stories?
Yes, but not anything I can speak of in mixed company.
Are we in mixed company?
You guys are in the downstairs in the main kind of tavern area of the chateau.
Right.
I didn't get to come down here very much and eat with you, so it's nice to be able to be here now.
I agree.
Not disguised. Fuck, I need to remember to do this more.
Oh no.
Do you want to borrow my mask?
Oh no, I have that other mask that I bought.
What mask?
And remember the metal mask that I bought when I was with you? I'm just going to put it on.
Yeah, that's a good dinner
It's just a
wear.
big old, like, cast iron tiki mask with giant tusks and oof. All right.
Blue tiefling horns and tail coming out of it.
Yep.
Curious choice, but I understand. Probably for the best. There's not much of a mouth hole, so eating is going to be very difficult.
Onslaught.
Takes a little spoon, just like, all right, here we go. Try to make it. Very perfect. So you guys talk for a bit. She shares some embarrassing stories of Jester's childhood. Asks each of you a little bit about your story, and we'll say, you know, the better part of the evening, it's an enjoyable respite from the chaos of the day and the chaos of the journey. Your blink dog has dried, as is your weasel.
Oh yeah, can I go check on Professor Thaddeus?
You can, and as you go ahead and find, there is kind of a coat room, essentially, where the young man who had originally met you when you got there is inside, and you can see him kind of sitting in the back on a stool, kind of going like this, and he's staring in the far away, and there's a coat rack where Professor Thaddeus is sitting on there just staring at him. As you enter the chamber,
Hey,
oh, hey!
is my bird okay?
You can see, like, there are some scratches on his cheek. Yeah, he's fine. Just watching him right there.
You didn't traumatize him, did you?
I think not. Hard to feed these.
Yeah, I know. I grabbed the food that I just took from my plate, and I'm like, Thaddeus, come. Thaddeus.
Roll an animal handling check.
Not me. Fucking animals. Why did I do this?
I don't know.
Oh no. 6. Fucking that guy.
I'm gonna have an owl.
What?
Big dives towards you and just goes right over your shoulder and is now in the middle of the central
good.
tavern.
Oh God.
Like the leather cord of his kind of leash is now dangling as it's up in the rafters.
I can't control him, you guys. He has a mind of his own.
Everyone in the chamber is
free
like,
person.
there are people that are eating who are like, what the? They're all staring up at this owl that has now found a brief perch up into the roof chamber.
Oh, you've all seen an owl before. Shut up.
I think they're worried about the.
They'll be fine.
Caleb summons Frumpkin the octopus, and I just roll his head like a Bond villain staring at Bo.
Kind of squeaks like a balloon.
I'm gonna pull one of the beetles out of my staff and just say, Professor, you want a snack? And I just hold it up.
You're just holding the beetle?
Yeah.
Make an animal handling check.
All right.
There goes your finger.
12.
12? Eventually kind of dives down, snatches, and, a little prick on the finger from one of the talons, but eventually makes a quick meal and heads back up.
Sorry.
What happens if we have to leave and the bird is still here?
We'll come with us.
You can climb up.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a monk.
We'll figure
you
it
can climb
out.
up to the ceiling.
Susan. What?
Hey, Mama,
Yes?
will you watch my puppy? Well, it's me and Bo's puppy, really.
Yeah.
Will you watch our puppy while we go out tonight?
Of course. To be honest, I've kind of been thinking about maybe having a pet, so this would be good training.
Oh, really?
Well, since you've been gone,
How do you feel about owls?
Weasel.
They're interesting. Definitely.
Yeah.
Are you good with puppies? Because this one's kind of special.
I imagine that this is how is it special? This sounds like a warning.
Sounds like a warning.
Nugget.
Lift off your mask.
Oh, thank you. Nugget, it's me.
Yeah.
Poof.
And it like kind of appears in your chest and kind of catches her. She's like, oh my.
He blinks.
That is as tricky as perhaps the daughter that I had.
So I'm going to tell Nugget to look at my mama and say, this is just blink to her right now, okay, for as long as, we tell you to. That's home.
And it's like,
Mama, tell him you're home.
you're home.
No, tell him you are home. You are his home.
Oh, I am your home.
That's good here.
And she
Be careful, he pees on things.
immediately she goes, and just pets him over the table. Back into Kadranis.
Yes. I want to send a message to her before we go to sleep tonight.
To Nugget or your mom?
To my mom.
Okay. All right. The evening comes quick. By the time you guys are leaving, it's not that far from dusk, and so your first evening out on your new trajectory, you have time. What do you want to send to Marion?
Mama, stuff happened at the docks, and we had to leave very quickly. Please take care of Nugget for a while. We'll be back, I promise. You may have heard about a little girl who was killing herself on the dock.
Are you using this across multiple spells?
Yeah, this is my second message. My second message. That looked like me, but it wasn't me. Don't worry, I'm very much alive, and I love you very much, and I'll be home soon.
She doesn't have the chance to respond to the first one because you go right through to the second. But Marion does respond to the second. Goes, well, thank you for letting me know, Jester. Be safe. Be bright. And make me proud. And come back soon. You and your friends. Goodbye.
Matt, can I send a message to my mama?
You may.
Hey, Mama. We are heading back to Nicodranus. Is it safe, do you think, for us to get there? Because I know that stuff is happening and I haven't heard from you in a while, probably because I haven't sent the message to...
Oh, passing it. My Jester, you're coming back? Well, I don't know specifically, but it does not appear to be a manhunt. Just be careful.
Mama says everything's okay.
Where your mother's room is, there, as you begin to step up the way, you hear the heavy footfall of Blood, who kind of sits in the middle of the top of the staircase towards where your mother's room is and kind of looks down towards you. Leans back and folds his arms. Are the rest of you going up with her, or just staying there?
Sure. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, if we're all here.
Unless you want some privacy.
No, come.
All right, you all head up, and Blue kind of puts his hand out, his big meaty hand, before the others, and goes like, Jester. Leans back again, his kind of shoulders hitting the wall, as Jester does the classic international symbol for "Let us through, please."
Established.
Yep. You come to the door.
Yeah.
Knock on it. Nadine opens it up. And kind of glances and recognizes you and goes, right. Pulls the door open, and you can see kind of lounging in her fainting couch in the far corner is your mother with a small book open. Her hair is just kind of pulled and tied back tightly. She's just in her casual space. She doesn't look like she's expecting any clientele anytime soon, but she kind of glances over and looks at
Drop it.
Jester. Oh my goodness, Jester! And she puts the book down and sits up and just runs across and picks you up with a big swinging hug and just starts showering your top of your forehead and cheeks with kisses. Jester, you're back.
We're back.
Oh, what? Oh, and
We're pirates.
oh, these are your same friends?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
I'll drop.
We'll drop our disguises.
Right. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. Thank you so much for taking care of my little Sapphire.
How was the city when we left? Was everything okay?
Everything was fine. I was a little worried from the message that you told me, so I inquired around, and there wasn't a disturbance. Apparently there was a ghost story. So thank you for letting me know.
Yes.
But now you have a ghost story.
No, we're infamous.
Apparently. Be careful with that wording, you guys. Best not to have too much attention. Just, especially in this world, it can be very dangerous.
Do they know our names? Or
No, not what I could figure out, at least. There was just more of a marauding band of murderers on the ship side of the docks that stole a ship, but apparently killed a number of other illegal peoples, and so they just kind of write it off as illegal people doing illegal things to illegal people.
Cool.
I think we're good.
Well, just be careful.
Oh, but I am.
Anyway.
How's Nugget?
Oh, she goes in, there's what used to be your room with like the double doors that close. She kind of opens it up and pulls it open. You can see all these like scratch marks on the inside of the wood. The room, the immediate smell of just like dog shit and pee hits you. Nugget. And all of a sudden, right there in front of you, you see Nugget, but larger. Over the weeks that you've gone, the tiny puppy is now a fairly decent-sized puppy, halfway to full grown, and even that's like the size of a fairly big dog. So Nugget just just jumps up into your arms, and you kind of fall back onto the ground.
This dog got big!
Why do they do that?
Hi! Have you been training him?
I've been training him as much as I can. He's been a bit of a handful, but is very adorable. And
Cute.
just kind of slobbering on the chest of your armor. But are you taking him?
Yeah, of course we
Wonderful, wonderful. I am so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
He's missed his mommy, haven't you? And
I
she's
feel like he's known you longer, though. If you're going to miss him, you know, you can.
No, it's quite all right.
Are you sure, Mama?
He's adorable, but you are. It is meant to be. It is destiny. Kismet. Please take it.
Okay. Can we stay here?
Of course.
Yay!
Of course. I mean,
Let's go.
here.
In the rooms.
Yeah, of course. I hold on a second. And she pulls Nadine over and they talk a bit. And Nadine checks and comes back up and says that there are only 2 rooms available for the evening that aren't already checked out. She goes, if anyone needs to, they are welcome to stay in this room as well. And the other 2 at your disposal. I put them on my tab. Do not worry.
Very gracious of you.
Two rooms ought to cover it for us.
Yeah, that'll be more.
Just for the night?
How long are we going to be? Maybe just a couple nights, maybe at best. There's a few things we should do in town before we head.
I don't know what we're doing.
Did you want to stay for a while, though? A few days?
I mean, I don't want to impose or anything, you know.
It's not an imposition. I just need to make sure that there are rooms available for each progressive night.
Pardon me, after tonight, we could find another place. You give your a day or 2 with your mother?
Sure.
I mean, I would not argue.
I mean, we can hang out. I know there's stuff we need to do and stuff. Now that we're back, you know, on land, I feel better.
It is welcoming. Well, tell me, how was your time? Apparently, you left under interesting circumstances. It's been
hurried circumstances, I think, would sum it up. We did have to borrow a boat, a ship.
right.
We did not bring it back.
But we got another boat.
We upgraded.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's way cooler.
Giving that one back?
We're giving that one to Orly, right?
But he's holding it for us.
We'll be landlocked for a while. Are you familiar with Dark Toe Isle?
I have heard of it. There are stories, but I have not been there, of course.
Your daughter was very brave. Our adventure took us over there.
Oh, are you being serious right now?
Well, serious, we're pirates. Well, we were.
I
We're
had
kind
one
of.
client from Darktoe once told me a little bit about it. Sounds like a very frightening place.
Who was the client?
I cannot tell.
Did he have hair from another guy on?
No,
Was he bald? Was he big and bald?
no, but it doesn't narrow down my clients necessarily either.
Okay, well, we only met a couple people, so
That's okay.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think the Plank King leaves very often. I wouldn't.
Good. My mom is really, really cool and worth traveling for.
Without a doubt. Our travels took us far and wide, and we are all the more excited to be back on land and to explore this beautiful city that most of us haven't had a chance to really peek about.
Yeah, you two are very curious about that tower.
Very much.
Just, as a historical landmark.
Do you know that tower that gets bigger and smaller the closer you are to it?
I assume that you're referring to the tidal
Tide Peak?
Tide Peak. Yes. I've not been there, of course, but it is a mysterious place.
What have you heard about it for Ford and Beau's benefit?
Very technical notes on this, but yep.
Well, as far as I know, there is a very wealthy mage who lives there, who is responsible for the organization of the Open Quay, who is very kind of a hermit, from what I've heard, but is supposedly at least looking out for the benefit of the people who live there, so as not to be completely under the control of the monopoly of the Concord. That's as much as I know.
That sounds like what we've gathered before. Interesting. I think that's where we want to go next. You notice as you walk towards it and walk further away, it looks like it grows and shrinks. Is
Like
that
a dick.
well? I was gonna say like a telescope.
No,
but,
that's better.
Well, then it would be like the tower like curves down sometimes and then lifts back up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It just
Phallic.
like goes.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Like, I
true.
don't know.
But
Tower-
I feel
tower.
there's a difference. There is a difference.
Between dicks
dick and
and
a
buildings?
Yeah, the movement of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different.
Of course, one is a building. Yeah?
As an expert, I would say yes. Anyway,
Didn't mean for it
Good
to
to
go
know
that
it
far.
just goes up and down, doesn't lay over on its side and shrink up and then extend itself. And
Yeah. What happens in the cold?
you have been at sea for quite some time.
I'm
I can
sorry.
tell.
Yeah, we got sea dementia. It's really rampant.
It's all right. Well, take your time. I will ask to see if we can have a special dinner prepared for you when you come back tonight. And I'm just happy to have you home.
What time is it about now?
At this point, it's later afternoon. I'd say you probably have about another hour or so before dusk.
I don't think we should look at
Let's
the
go
tower.
fucking break into it right now.
I don't think we should do
Let's
that.
go
I used
right
up
now.
3 spells already. I
So
think
what? We'll be fine. There's nothing in there. We're just gonna steal some stuff.
Can I make out from the spine or the cover what book she was reading that she set down?
Make a perception check.
Books.
Really, really great for the D. Yeah.
21.
21.
Yep.
Sure. It's called hireling. Because that was the first word I saw on the back of my DM screen. Who knows what that story's about?
We rip it out of her hand. What's the first chapter say?
It's just a player's handbook.
All you need to
Chapter
read
is
this.
called Obscured Areas. Lightly obscured has the effect of creatures of this.
Game system.
What class do you play?
Jester makes a valid point. We actually probably should go first thing in the morning so we're all nice and rested. And I would enjoy a nice meal.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a little bit of time. We still don't know how to get into this tower. Maybe we could do a little bit more research before the night is out, before dinner
Let's scope
time.
it out. Let's go just stare at it a while.
Ask questions.
I dig
don't
it.
know.
Yep.
Bring the paint.
The paint is always with me.
May the paint be with you.
Caleb, I promise you, if we go scope it out tonight, we are going in tonight.
I don't think that is a good idea.
Have you met these people before?
I would definitely
We're
prefer
going.
to wait as well. Just to,
Sorry.
I'm a fan of just taking a minute to take a look around and have
we
a
need
plan.
to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
We've been going at an 11 out of 10 for a while. We need to slow down.
I'm sure there are some stores that might have, like healing potions and other things we could stock up on before the sun goes down and they close up, right?
Yeah.
Might as well take a gander. Miss Ruby, do you have any sorts of shops you might recommend that would have stuff of that nature?
If you're looking for general shops that have things that are useful in travels like that, healing potions, I don't really deal with those at all. There's the Seafloor's Bounty in the open quay. If you're planning to go by the strange Dick Tower, then that is a possibility. If not there is also Meandering Treasures in the Restless Wharf is a destination of interest, if that's what you're looking for, odds and ends maybe.
That's beautiful.
There is no specialty stores in healing potions in Nicodranas.
I'm sure either of those will do nicely.
All right, well, good luck.
Shall we? Little light shopping?
Let's do it. I kiss her on the cheek.
No, as you're about to head out, Miss. Jester, is there, would you like any of your things from your room or, before you leave?
Well, I mean,
The O-Town posters?
no, those can stay. I've moved on. Sure, I guess I could use, like, a change of clothes. This dress is a little bit messed up now.
All right, no worries. And she goes off and begins packing a few things in a little bag, and she comes out. The rest of you, you guys are kind of getting things in the cart, and she steps out. You can see, like, there's like a little bit of hesitance as she steps beyond the threshold of the chateau. Takes a deep breath, and then takes a few more steps, and takes like the 15 feet to the cart, and goes, here. And I had something made for you while you were at sea.
What?
And she kind of pulls out of a small pouch that she has on the side this thin golden chain with what looks to be about the size of a raisin, a little ruby set in with like really pretty filigree. And kind of just places it around your neck. So, this way, no matter where you are, no matter what's happening, you always have the ruby with you.
Oh, Mama, thank you so much. I got you something too.
What did you get me?
I get out one of my jars of honey. It comes from an island in the middle of the sea. Very, very sweet. Just like your little sapphire.
No. Thank you so much. She pulls you in and kisses you on the forehead and kind of rubs your chin. I'm going to miss you.
I miss you already.
No.
I'll send you messages as much as I can,
Please
you know.
do, every day if
Okay.
you can. Take care of her.
Of course.
You know not the vengeance I will bring upon you, and the army of men and women and in between that will do what I tell them to.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah. We love her almost as much as you do. So
Not possible.
half as much as you do.
She puts the honey back in the pouch. Be safe, everyone.
Love you, Mama.
I love you too, Jester.
Come on, Nugget. Let's go.
Jumps up into the cart.
Oh, that's okay.
You feel Sprinkle kind of like starting to back up around your neck.
I just stare at Mama and watch the chateau as we go away. Don't take my
Why are
eyes
you
off her.
saying, yeah?
Don't we have horses?
I've got them right here.
As the cart takes off, making its way to the northward streets to exit Nicodramus, Marion Lavorre watches you all leave and gives a quiet wave as you all disappear into the streets. So, as she disappears around the bend and you turn around in your seat to look ahead, you can see the open blue sky above you, looking towards the distant Sirios Mountains. The path before you, you make your way northward.
And then at least my mom can find somewhere else to go.
Does your mom have safe houses or anything?
Of course she does. She knows a lot of people.
Should she go there now?
Oh. Well, that would be kind of hard to...
She'd just be going to a safe house for no reason.
Well, it's just she doesn't like to, leave. So it would be hard for her to go to this.
She doesn't like to leave her house because of work?
Yes, no, she just doesn't feel comfortable,
Is she scared of the outside or something?
A little, that's the impression I got. It makes her anxious,
Oh.
She feels safe in the chateau.
Maybe it's worth using that last message spell to just check in with her.
Make sure she's okay.
Yeah. See if any ruffians or weirdos have been hanging out. Different clientele than the usual.
What does Astrid look like?
Well, she was on the short side,
Probably still short.
about your height.
I'm not short.
How tall are you?
5'3".
About there.
Okay.
When I knew her, she had very short hair. It was dark brown.
Dark brown, okay.
This was a long time ago.
What color were her eyes?
They were brown.
Brown eyes.
Probably so brown too. No.
Did she have any scars or any, features that were super prominent? Scars on her arms, okay. Just like yours. Okay.
I could be worried about nothing, but if your mother has been compromised in some way, it is too late, but it is not too late for your child. No. It seems like a bad idea to send him there, to me. It pains me to say that even, but...
I trust you.
Maybe you can send her.
Shikasta isn't going to even be there for some time.
That's true.
And it would take more weeks for them to travel. But you're right. Maybe we should call that off or just tell Shikasta to hold until we know more.
Maybe he can go to the wizard's tower. No, is that a bad idea?
I don't know.
too?
I don't know what the wizard feels about this right now.
I don't know. I would like to maybe bring your child to Rosanna.
Well, let's check in. We're making a lot of assumptions on information we don't fully know yet.
Sure.
No.
I mean, it's a very us thing to do, but
I send a message to my mom.
Okay.
Hi. Little worried. Someone may be coming to the chateau. If you see a girl, 5'3", brown hair and eyes, short hair, scars on her arms.
Boom.
Shit.
Jester? I'm worried. From the tone of your voice, I will keep a lookout. I hope everything is okay. Come back soon. I miss you. That's all. While this is happening, Marion kind of looks back towards Jester and kind of just puts her fingers up into your hair and holds her head against yours and goes, I'm so glad you're safe.
I'm so glad to be back, Mama.
And looks down, and you can see that immediately at that point, Nugget just leaps up and almost knocks Marion over and is like, whoa! Just looking in her face, going like, oh wow, you are getting so big.
He really is.
Yeah, pets are a lot.
Pets are a lot, Mama.
Not as much as tiny sapphires, but they're a lot.
It's kind of, I feel honestly a little bad because, Nugget's been stuck at home and we've had to go off and do things and I don't want him to be in danger and stuff.
Well, what are you trying to tell me?
Well, not.
What?
Maybe Luke would like a pet?
A dangerous blink dog?
He's not dangerous, he's sweet.
He's a killer.
A sweet blink.
Yes. I will give this child whatever he wants right now. Yes.
Luke is still looking at the crossbow and is like not even paying attention to the conversation.
Do you want? Hey, Luke.
What?
Hey. Do you want a dog?
Well, okay, look. Here's the thing.
Oh, that's over.
Oh no.
And just like points at Nugget
with the crossbow.
Technically, he's on loan because he's my dog who I love very much, but
Can have him forever.
I don't want him to be in danger. And his name is Nugget, and if you have to feed him, and you have to take him on walks, and you have to teach him how to blink because he's still training.
Yeah, okay, but he's also 5, so he's probably not going to take your dog on walks. Your manservant or whatever can take the dog on walks.
Lucas walked up to Nugget now with the crossbow in hand and just like reaches out to touch his nose, and Nugget just and like knocks him over and starts licking his face. Like he's like laughing on the ground. And Yes is like, okay, crossbow and a dog.
No, he's not going to keep the crossbow. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll trade you the crossbow for the dog, Luke.
Luke stands up and kind of goes,
and I'll throw in this grappling hook.
deal. Hands the crossbow back, grabs the grappling hook, and goes back to petting the
That's
dog.
arguably more dangerous.
As a child of divorce, this is exactly what it's like. This is the most amazing divorce simulator I've ever experienced.
With every gift, my guilt.
Dog,
my guilt
crossbow,
goes
what'll
away.
it take? While this is happening, Marion looks back and looks at Jester and looks over at Ford and goes, has he been taking care of you?
Yeah.
Good.
I almost fell to my death. He made sure that didn't happen.
Yep, caught her on the quick.
Good. Very good. Keep doing that, please.
I mean, she's also totally been taking care of, herself and us as well. It's kind of like, a cycle. Yeah.
Right. That's a cycle that some would call, I don't know, friendship?
Oh, I was gonna say unhealthy. True story. Yeah. But friendship. Yeah.
To be fair, many friendships are not necessarily healthy, but can still be useful. Oh my god. So right. Bless you.
Miss Lavorre, how many days have your guests been here?
Not okay.
Oh, they've only been here about a week. They have come a long way. Been asking around about Felderwin, I believe is right. And he's like, yeah, Felderwin. Asking about how things are going. Apparently it's, it's not quite time to go back yet. There's still challenges and battles being waged up there. Word of a rise in goblin attacks in the cities as well. So we're just taking care of them for as long as we need to.
Good.
Yeah.
Very gracious of you.
They're family of family. So,
Thank you so much.
of course.
While they're doing this, can I kind of get a scan of Marion's desk and see if I see any papers lingering out? Can I be nosy for a
Perception
minute?
check, go for it.
Perception, not investigation.
From investigation will be rummaging through it.
Okay. 17.
17. Looking at the desk she has, which is like a partial desk, partial vanity. This is her, this is not where she sleeps normally. This is her work chambers, and so this is where she spends most of her time. But that way, it's dressed up well, and everything here has some sort of presentational element to it. So it's a beautiful desk / vanity space.
The secretary, like a secretary desk.
A little bit, yeah. You don't see anything that is glaringly out of place. There's papers and so a couple of books, like novel elements that maybe she reads on her spare time. Nothing that worries you from this distance. You probably have to do a more thorough investigation.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of people here. How long will you be staying is my question. How many rooms should we look for?
I think just overnight.
Just tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, for the night then, you are our guests. We shall have a fine dinner. There is a performance troupe in town that might be able to take you out for an evening in the city, if you don't mind escorting them, Jester. and, you know, make an evening of your brief stay as a thank you.
You're telling us to go socialize?
Well, you don't have to. I just assumed.
No, it's just.
You can stay here if you like. I just assumed that maybe.
You don't often get the opportunity.
They need a proper change of clothes. If there's anywhere where we can just get something.
Oh, there's plenty of places you can get.
That'll do then.
Chester, you're going to spend some time with your mother, yeah?
I have a feeling Mama might have a guest tonight.
Oh, I can cancel.
No.
Yes, you're a little more important than me, huh? It's fine. Steps aside and allows you into Marion's chamber, where she's out on the balcony just watching everything on her own accord, and hears you enter and turns, and he goes, Chester. And she walks up and gives you another hug.
Hi, Mama.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's kind of hard being out in the world and stuff.
It's a hard world out there. That is very true.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if maybe I should just come here and live with you and just give it all up and not have to deal with it anymore.
I mean, selfishly, I would I would love that, but I do not think it's yet safe.
I know.
Lord Sharp is still very much a prick.
Have you seen him lately?
He is no longer a recurring client of mine, and I prefer it that way. But I just want to know that you're safe. And, well, if I can be so bold, can I ask you to tell me about some of your adventures?
Of course. I sit her down and I just tell her everything. I tell her about the giant rock and what it looked like and how big it was, and I tell her about the cavern of crystals. I'm still thinking it's really pretty. I tell her about the bridge, the crazy bridge with all the voices. And I tell her about Masha and what happened.
And she holds your hand through that story.
And I also tell her in detail about Astrid, as much as I know, and what to be aware of and
right.
look for. And, you know, I'm just a little worried that we've put you in danger now, Mama.
I appreciate that. You know, living in Nicodranas, a place where so many people come and go from all walks of life, it can be a beautiful and equally dangerous place, as you know. I'm careful, but I will be more careful.
Okay.
But I also do not want to live my life in fear. I trust Blood. I trust all of my, compatriots here at the chateau. And to be fair, and not to toot my own horn, there are many people that would wish to see no harm come to me as well.
It's the truth. A lot of people love you, Mama, not just me.
I know. So, I will take care, and I appreciate you worrying for me. But I worry about you too.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
I know that voice. And the times where it's not fine, that's okay too. You know? If I can't be there to console you, you've surrounded yourself with some wonderful people. Don't be afraid to lean on them as well.
Yeah. Has a package come for us?
package?
Yeah, there was a package that was going to Zadash, and then we forwarded to here.
It has not arrived yet. I can go check real fast.
I'll go see if Blood can check, okay?
All right.
I don't want... Okay.
All right.
I go outside and ask Blood to go look for the package, and I also tell Blood all about what Astrid looks like and tell him to really look out for her.
the massive minotaur, through the intensity in your voice and your expression, seems to somewhat dwindle ever so slightly and nod in acknowledgement.
Oh, all right, I'll keep an eye out. She's available.
Okay.
It's okay.
And as you walk inside, you can see the balcony doors open, the breeze is blowing through, the silk curtains are kind of slowly swaying with each gust. She sat up on her bed with a book open, and she kind of immediately looks up and closes it and sets it aside. Chester.
Hey, Mama.
Oh, my sweet Sapphire. And she jumps off the bed and runs up and just gives you a big hug and lifts you up and spins you a bit.
Mama.
Yes.
I got a tattoo.
There's a brief look of like, oh, and then a look of like, well, show me.
It's really big.
That is beautiful, my Sapphire. I love it.
See, it sparkles.
It does. Oh, bring it here. And she pulls you over towards where the light is coming in from the window, and see kind of glittering. You know, like this. See, you are the gem you're always meant to be.
My friends.
It's a pleasure to see you all again.
Hello.
See you again.
Hi.
Oh, I kneel down and I say, look, go in my room. Look behind the bookshelf. There's a loose plank on the wall. If you open it, you'll find a treat.
And he runs off.
That's not a pastry you left here like
No. It's a box of paint. It's a box of paint.
Okay.
I don't... should I tell him not to eat it?
No.
He's not an idiot.
Oh, hi, Nog.
I'm over here.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm here too. Ruby of the Sea, Mrs.
Where is this sound coming from?
Oh, sorry. I'm over here. I pick up a pillow and just kind of wave it around.
Oh. All right. Oh, this small girl. Yes, it's good to see you again.
Do you have a bathtub?
I have quite a nice bathtub, actually.
Could we fill it with clay?
Her expression darts throughout the group and then back to Jester.
We'll cover it with fabric before we do. It won't get stained.
Very well. As long as you promise not to harm the bathtub, then, you know, I'm not one to kink shame. Just make sure you clean up when you're done.
Yes, it's not like that, but thank you.
No judgment.
Thank you. The pillow just sort of nods.
That is a bit expensive, however, and she takes the pillow and...
You'll be happy to know your daughter has been quite the adventurer. She's accomplished quite a bit.
Really? Oh, I knew she would. What have you done?
Oh, well, you remember the traveler?
I remember you talking quite a bit about him since you were very little, yes.
Turns out he's not a god.
Every child comes to a point in their life where fleets of fancy and imagination from childhood.
I mean, he's a real, Mama. He's still real.
Of course.
No.
Yeah, sorry to interject. We, not a god, but we have all, in fact, met this individual.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who is it? Is she safe? I told you to take care of her.
No, I did. No, we've taken that very seriously. She is quite safe.
It's a little predatory, though. Let's be honest.
No. Yeah, no, that's... No.
grown man was sneaking into a young girl's bedroom all the time. What's not what? I mean, it turned out okay. Like it's fine, but
She's actually in more control than you might imagine. She actually is dictating quite a bit of what happens in this relationship.
yeah, if anything, she's the god.
That's my girl. And you.
No, but seriously, he is an ancient fey being. It's complicated.
Kind of like Frumpkin, but like a man.
And like really old and has lots of power, but looks young.
Oh,
Super
I
handsome.
know all about that.
Wait a minute, Mama. Did you ever... Okay. You remember how I told you he had no face, like I couldn't see his face?
Right?
I know what he looks like now.
Oh.
Did you ever meet a man who had fiery red hair, super fluffy, and he had very handsome, vibrant green eyes and really large eyebrows? But in a good way.
I have seen such a man occasionally downstairs in the chateau, but not as a client.
Him!
But
That is him!
I don't know if this makes it less weird. But it's good to have a face to the name, I suppose. Are
Well,
you okay?
I'm kind of glad that he wasn't ever a client.
In hindsight, me as well.
Hey, you're invited to a party. Do you want to come?
There's
What kind of a
there's
party is-
tomorrow at the Marquise domain.
Yeah. They said you can come perform if you want to.
That's a few blocks.
I know.
Are you going to this?
Yeah. I would go with you if you wanted.
And you're all going?
Yeah. We can keep you safe.
That's a.
What's up? What's wrong, Caduceus?
I thought we had all agreed that this was a little tricky going into this party. Are we sure we want to just treat it like a party, or were we going to be?
Yeah, I think everyone who is attending this event wants it to go smoothly, for it to be a lovely evening. And Jester, your mother, is very talented and beautiful, and everyone in this town obviously is fascinated with her, and she would be an excellent...
Don't let me stop you.
I feel so much better. Yasha just kept mentioning killing people, so I just assumed things were going to just go.
Well, my point
That's
is,
just my
who could...
go-to. I don't know.
My point being, who could take their eyes off of the ruby of the sea at a party like this?
Very true.
Plus, going to a party with your mom is a pretty great cover.
Oh, I should have asked if Lord Sharp was going to be there.
There's probably a good chance of him being there, seeing as how he is one of the more powerful nobles of Nicodranas, and if it is a party that is in the Opal Archway, so there's a good chance he'll be there, so maybe...
Yeah,
be
we certainly
discreet.
don't want to make you uncomfortable. Your daughter has helped broker peace between...
Oh, Sharp I can handle, don't worry. I handle men like him all the time. And they are very easy to handle. Just be careful, if you don't mind.
Okay.
If you are all going to be there, and you, as Sapphire, are going to be there, and she reaches out and takes your hand and kind of squeezes it, then I can be there.
Yeah!
I give her a big hug.
This party's gonna be dope.
I'm so proud of you, Mama. I'm so proud of you.
Well, we're not there yet, so don't be proud. But I'm going to work on it. I've been working on my excursions a bit. So, and at this point, you can hear from the steps coming up. I couldn't find any bread that was as fresh as we hoped for, and you hear Yeza as he's coming up the stairs.
What about that pillow?
Oh.
Oh. Oh, wow. You're all Veth's friends.
Yes, hello.
It's good to see you.
So good to see you again.
Caleb, Beauregard,
Nailed it.
Ford, Yasha, Caduceus, Jester, of course.
Yes.
It's so good to see you guys. Where's my wife?
Soon following on our heels. She will be here soon.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I gotta go put these groceries away. Marion, got it all taken care of. I'll just give you the bill, and I'll be back in a little bit. Bye. And you see him now kind of heads back downstairs, a little spring in his step.
Oh, I bet he's gonna go wash his junk off.
What do you mean? What? Oh, because he knows that I'm coming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like a little prep.
Yeah.
I better do the same.
Yeah, well, we're going to a bathroom.
You know, just a little bit of revivification.
Oh my God.
Well, I was not performing tonight. I was planning to perform at the chateau tomorrow, but I can cancel that easy and be ready for this party. Of course. I run this place. Are you kidding me? Well, thank you for keeping her safe. And I look forward to this event tomorrow night. And of course, Jester, it's so good to see you.
You too, Mama.
All right. Well, I should, well, at least I want to finish my book, if you don't mind.
Of course, we'll go to the bathroom.
Right.
Together,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Have fun. She goes and lays back in her bed and pulls open her book. You guys make your way to the Marquis Domain. So here, within the opal archways, not too far from the lavish chateau, you come upon the gated estate.
Wait.
Oh.
What's Mama wearing?
Oh.
Yeah.
Good call. She has a number of dresses at her disposal.
I figured.
She picks out one to contrast but also mirror the design that you had purchased and brought along, except for it's in a deep purple velvet. And whereas yours kind of flares out into the chiffon, hers hugs her legs like an upside down wine glass. Kind of Jessica Rabbit-esque, I guess you would say, with the arm gloves there. Beautiful jewelry right around the neck and shoulder area. I'm not as great at explaining dress wear as
That's beautiful.
you are, but
She looks really nice.
she looks amazing.
Yeah.
You guys kind of help her. She takes your hand, and you help her past the threshold of the chateau, and you step into the cold night air of Nicodranas, and with each few steps, she takes another deep breath, until eventually you find yourselves outside of the Marquis Domain.
I'm holding her hand very tight.
As she is holding your hand very tight, too. You see what is essentially a small palace draped in white silks with candlelit lanterns that hang from all around the premises. Numerous, somewhat gaudy fountains that sit in the entryway, which is arched like the opal archway, but almost in a competitive sense with more color and detailed decoration. As you guys are brought to the front, the guards there at the event seem to be expecting you. As upon you arrive, they don't question. They just step aside and open the gate for you to enter. You can already see there's probably about 3 dozen or so figures that are all lounging in the main courtyard area. There are servants coming around to fill drinks. There are food, plates set out, small tables are being delivered around. There's a gentle music playing in the air, sourceless at the moment. But as you begin to walk in, you know, a number of figures that many of them you do not recognize, kind of glance over and take a look. A few of them seem kind of caught off guard and wondering who you are. A handful see Marion and are surprised and delighted, and the handful of individuals are like, Marion Lavorre, I had no idea we were going to be here tonight. This is incredible. Like, did you hear the Ruby? The Sea's going to be performing tonight. And the whispers start going out throughout the chamber. Making your way partway in, you can see there, as part of the event, you see Lord Desran Thane, not too far from the Martinet Ludinus himself. You can see There is a stout, kind of gravelly-looking dwarf with like a shock of gray hair, it's like almost silver, like silver hair. His like ruddy skin. He looks like he's dressed really well, and he just hates the party there. And he's just not talking to anybody. You can see, as part of that arrangement there, let me get some of my notes out of my way, because I get in my way very easily. You see Lord Ethesius Uladon as well, who in the middle of a conversation sees you and makes like an acknowledgement that you're here, but is finishing his current conversation. And so the party is yours to peruse. It mostly seems conversation-based. There's no real events happening at the moment. And in a short time, Marion excuses herself, saying, pardon me, I need to go and prepare for my performance. Thank you. Gives a wink to Jester and is led into the main building itself, the palace. There is an announcement. Everyone gives a round of claps. And the music begins as some of the performers, their violins begin to kick in. And Marion descends the curved stairway that spirals around the interior. Marion's voice begins to carry beautifully throughout the night air, singing entirely a song in Zemnian, though she does not know the language. She has learned this song as a way to present and bring in all the different dignitaries of the Dwendalian Empire that are here visiting before they set out to sea. It is gorgeous. And you've seen her perform a number of times, but each time is a fresh, entrancing experience, as her voice seems to carry with this clarity and this sense of almost magical melody behind it, that you know why she's once again established herself as one of the foremost performers on the Menagerie Coast. The people are entranced and watching.
Quiet.
While this is happening, what are you two doing?
Watching the Ruby of the Sea!
Incredible!
She's so good, dude.
I'm telling you.
God. Fuck.
I mean, just the sheer strength to hold that position for
it's
that
insane.
long.
And how long did it take her to do her makeup?
I don't know.
What's wild too is her voice is so powerful that it's having an effect on those strange ethereal fish creatures as they're now kind of like circling her in this beautiful kind of Ariel from Little Mermaid type dance. But only you can see it.
You don't understand, man. She's like one with the sea. When they say she's the ruby of the sea, they were like fucking literal.
It's very from beyond right now.
Wait. My horniness is so distracting.
I wait from the upstairs at Bo.
Hi.
Shh. Oh. And then I go in.
Okay. You come and push open the doorway to your mother's quarters. You can see she still has the balcony window, or doors and windows open, with the long silken elements of material just kind of flowing in the ocean breeze. The light that's filtering in, you can see across. She has her bed, and she has her counter where she has her book set up there, and she's currently on the bed with the window behind her open, and she's kind of reading by the sunlight as it's coming in. She kind of looks up with a small pair of glasses that she has on the end of her nose and kind of takes off. Jester?
Shh. I'm surprising you. Look the other way.
Sets her glasses, takes her book, closes it, puts it on the table, gets off the edge of the bed, and turns around.
I creep up behind her, put my hands over her eyes.
Oh.
Guess who?
Is it Blood?
It's your little Sapphire!
Picks you up and gives you a huge hug and begins just showering kisses across your face and goes, Oh, my Chester, how are you?
Good, I'm so glad to see you.
It's so wonderful to see you as well. I did not expect you to return so quickly. You usually
Has
go
it been
for...
quickly?
Well, I mean, you generally go for long periods of time, and
It feels
you
like
had-
it's been forever, Mama.
You told me you had so much to do last time we spoke. I'm just happy to have you here.
We went to an island, and there was a fake god there, and then there was another fake god there, and then a real god came there. Woof.
That is what one would say is escalation.
It was. It really was.
Wow. What did you do? Were all of these gods...
Defeated one, befriended one, apologized to one. And at the end of the day, everyone learned a lesson.
Well, I'm glad to hear there was lessons to be learned in your adventures.
So all of us are in town again. Can we stay here?
Oh,
I know you have company tonight, though. We can totally leave you alone.
they can delay. It's me. Of course, I'll get rooms ready. How many, do you have more friends you brought this time?
The same amount.
Same amount, okay, that can very easily be done.
But don't let Veth's family know, because I think she wants to surprise them, okay?
Very well, I will keep it a secret.
They rented an apartment.
Oh, they're not still at the lavish chateau?
I think when I left last time, I gave them money.
Yeah, you gave money to give them an apartment.
Find a condo or
Oh, well then never mind. I didn't realize they weren't here anymore.
That's all right.
Veth, are you here?
Oh, hello!
Veth, oh my goodness, and runs up and kind of grabs your shoulders and looks you over. Ah, the beautiful face. It's so good to see you again as well.
You smell wonderful, which tells me that you repaired your bathtub.
Indeed, it's
Excellent, excellent.
a worthy endeavor. It is, to be honest, much better than the last one. So thank you.
If you need to be reimbursed or something, I don't want to.
It's fine.
All right.
We'll just say you owe me a favor.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's serious. When Mama asks for a favor, she means it.
Oh. Okay.
It's so easy to do. Do not worry.
Hard a little bit. I wanted to know where my family lives.
Oh, come to the balcony. And she brings you to the outside balcony, and as the kind of warm light comes upon you again, you're still carrying your bundles of toys and outfits and such. She points down the opal archway. There is a set of small structures and a set of 4 towers that kind of come off the top of this larger complex. And she says, right there in the second tower, there is, you see these 2 windows that are conjoined on that one balcony there? That is where they're staying.
Thank you so much. I'll. Have you seen them? Are they okay? And do they come over for brunch and stuff? I don't know.
Yes, they come by and we talk for a bit, and just wanted to check up, and they seem to be all right. I'm sure they'll be very happy to see you.
All right. Well, I'll just message you.
Yeah.
Oh, bye.
Elizabeth takes off. I will make sure there is room for you and all your friends.
Okay.
How are you?
Feels good to be here.
It is good to have you here.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Things are crazy.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Last I saw you, you seemed to be carrying a heavy weight.
Yeah.
Is that any lighter?
Yes?
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It was really hard, but at the end of all of it, it kind of made me realize what's important. And how important everyone around me is. So.
It's funny, I had an experience just like that.
You did?
Many years ago. When I had you. What's the point of being a mother if you cannot embarrass my beautiful daughter?
I don't know where everyone is. I think Bo's downstairs, but I'm sure people will be showing up soon.
Well, I guess I should make sure that I am ready and at the top of my game tonight.
Okay. Are you performing?
I am now, if you have your friends here.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be wonderful. Okay.
Okay. I'll go delay my client.
I'll run downstairs and wait for everyone to show up.
Okay.
To ask Mama if have you heard from the gentleman? Papa?
I do not believe I have.
No, nothing?
No, but it's also been extremely, chaotic up north.
Right. Is there anything you want to say to him?
If you come across him again, and if you're heading that way, just tell him maybe the invitation is open to come visit.
Okay.
Just conversation, nothing expected. Just to talk, maybe have a glass of wine.
Okay. I let him.
No pressure. Just make sure there's no pressure on it.
Of course, of
Just tell- it's
course.
open
I'm going to make it
invitation.
seem so casual,
It's
Mama.
very casual and welcoming. Tell him it was said very cursorily and just kind of offhand, like I'm disinterested.
Okay, I'll make sure he thinks you're not interested.
Right. It's just there is a possibility.
Okay. Casually curious about how he's
Yes.
doing.
No pressure, no expectation.
Okay. I'll make sure to let him know.
Tell him how pretty I looked too.
Mama, you don't have to tell me that. I
True
tell
that.
everyone how pretty you look.
No.
Okay.
Well, thank you all for keeping my Sapphire safe. Thank you, my Sapphire, for keeping all of them safe. And, well, as you know, you are always welcome. Maybe if I have a little more forewarning next time, I could prepare a special performance.
Ooh.
Bought a ton of fireworks.
Good to know.
Yeah. They're stashed in the closet back behind the rum.
That seems very dangerous. I'm
Behind
going
the
to talk to
rum
Carlos
and
about
with the
that.
alcohol? Bo.
I'll take care of it. Nevertheless, travel safe. Hope to see you soon. Make your way into your mom's room, and there you can see the doors are closed to the outside balcony. Window is open, and a little bit of a breeze is blowing through. The silks hanging from her bed kind of sway ever so gently, and you can see her with a book still partially open across like her chest and shoulder as she's kind of curled up for a midday nap.
I'll go and lay down in bed next to her and lay my head on her shoulder.
Doesn't wake her, but she instinctively kind of goes and grabs you and kind of pulls you in for a cuddle while she kind of...
Mama.
Her eyes kind of flutter open a little bit. Sisaki. My Sapphire.
I missed
My Sapphire. And like her eyes shoot wide open and she just gives you a big, big hug and just pulls you in closely. Oh, the book kind of crushes a little bit before it tumbles off to the side. Pulls you away and looks at your face, kind of her thumbs right there on your cheeks. I didn't know you were going to visit today.
I didn't either.
And it's good to see you.
You too.
Everything okay? Are you safe?
Yes, everything is, everything's not okay. Mama, I have to tell you, it's... I'm gonna pull out one of the necklaces. I want you to wear this, okay? Don't take it off.
What is this for?
It will keep you safe. It will keep people from being able to spy on you. For now.
And your eyes kind of dart towards the window.
It's okay. Just wear it and...
She puts it on, holds it for a second, looks at you. Chester, I hate seeing you like this. What's going on?
I don't know. There's a lot of bad things going on right now. A lot of them. In a lot of different ways. But,
You could be in danger here. There's some really awful people, some really powerful, awful people that are coming after us, and they know that I'm connected to you. And it scares me, and I know how hard it is for you to leave. But I think you should. At least for a while. I'll let you know when it's safe.
Jester, it's difficult for me to think I could be safer anywhere else.
I know.
I've been here most of my life. Everyone here knows me.
I know.
If anyone wanted to come and harm me, they'd have to go through a lot of very powerful people here in Nicodranas.
They wouldn't have to do any of that. They could just literally appear next to you. They're really powerful people, Mama. More than anything we've ever come across.
Her eyes kind of dart back towards the window again. And back to you. You can see that kind of familiar look of shock and anxiety in her face.
I don't even know where I'd go.
Look. This is so stupid, and you're going to think I'm trying to do something here. But I think you'd be safe. I think you'd be safe with a gentleman. I think you'd be safe with Papa. I know. And I haven't even asked him. I haven't talked to him at all, but he has an underground safe house. He's secret. Nobody knows about it. It's the safest place I can think of. We'll probably be staying here tonight, I think. I don't know, I haven't talked to everyone, but...
Okay, I can have rooms prepared. I need some time to...
I know.
Oh, I need some time to think. And she kind of cups your face again and kind of just gives you a little kiss in the nose and... What have you done?
I'm sorry.
I'm not angry, I just worry about you.
Yeah. I just want to keep you safe, okay?
That's all I've ever wanted, was to keep you safe.
I'm growing up. Now it's my turn.
Oh, don't tell me that, you'll make me cry.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm going to go talk to everyone and see what the plan is, okay?
Okay.
She grabs the book and closes it and goes, I will finish this some other time. She puts it on the edge of her bedstand.
If you want to get some things together,
I would like to do that, yes.
Okay.
Have Blood fetch me one of our finest wines for the journey.
Of course.
I don't think I can make it sober. You are growing up.
To her hands.
You are growing up, aren't you?
Too fast.
But more proud than I could ever think. And maybe there will be a day where there won't be people chasing you.
That would be wonderful. We found this wonderful little island. Maybe at the end of everything we can go there and have a happy tropical home.
I look forward to you showing me one day.
I will. I'll be back. I'm just going to talk to everyone, figure out the plan, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Run.
Yes,
you all
also please remove the door as soon as we're in.
Oh, course. As you all kind of step inside, he's kind of, milady, gives a bow to Marion, and starts to come in. Because you are kind of carrying the Ruby of the Sea through the streets with you, which in its own right, a lot of people are whoa, is that?
This is quite a thing for Marion.
Which, at this point, you do notice as she comes in, she is shaking. There is sweat pouring down her face, and her complexion is much paler.
Just look at me, Mama. Just look at me, okay?
Would you like some help? Magical help.
Certainly.
I'm going to cast Calm Emotions. Should help.
It does. It actually does have a very positive effect on her, and she kind of immediately slumps into one of the nearby kind of sofa-like arrangements in this bottom floor of Tide Peak Tower, and looks like she'd been through a marathon and is just exhausted. And she's still clutching your hand tightly, and then eventually kind of looks up at you with a soft smile and goes, "I did it."
You did it.
Where are we?
We're in a tower. A magical tower. Yes, sir.
All right.
I assume I don't understand any of the words.
You do, actually.
Oh.
But we'll get to that in a moment, because right now the rest of you are kind of taking in the space. Marion is like, so, where are we?
Well, we don't exactly know, but the plan is we are just going to check this area, make sure it's safe, and hopefully stay put until the others join us, and then we will leave. I don't know what your daughter is doing, but when she is done, I can throw up a sort of a protective barrier for all of us, and we can spend most of our time in there, and it will be far more comfortable than this is.
It's okay, Mama. I'm just looking to see if this says who owns this place.
Very well. You hear another voice go,
"Whoa, cool." It is cool. It is cool, but this is a kind of a field trip like when you go to a museum and can't touch anything. So we should just look with our eyes, but not with our hands.
Is that lava?
It's real lava. Yeah. Yeah. Don't touch. No.
As he kind of grabs his shoulders from behind and just kind of pulls him close. Honey,
Uh-huh.
how long are we going to be here?
Well, a day, a night. We might have to spend the night here, but that's only so that the magic users can rest up, and then we'll be off to a much safer place. So far, pretty safe though. Nobody's here, right?
We're not in immediate danger. Everything's fine, Mama.
This certainly feels like immediate danger, but...
No. We're just visiting somebody's house, that's all.
Footsteps approach of Marion Lavorre, who's been kind of on the periphery listening to part of this, and goes, I've been around a bit longer than most of you, really. And I've met many people. Some good, some very bad. If there's one thing I've come to know, the good people are easy to be misled to think they're at fault for the things that bad people use to victimize them. It's how they stay in power. If they convince us that we are responsible for every terrible thing that comes upon us, they're absolved. Blame's a tricky thing. And sure, we all have our own guilts that we keep. Gods know I have mine. But I've been told enough times in my life that I'm responsible for the bad things that befall me. And it's taken me this long to know that that's not true.
Caleb bites his tongue and doesn't try to explain or reason away or sidestep and just listen. We choose something for him.
We're here now together because you all kept us safe. And if you hadn't done this, who knows how much worse it could have been. So, don't forget to focus on the good things you do. And she kind of puts her hands on your shoulders, Jester, and kind of gives a little squeeze and is against you. This is much more comfortable space to be sitting. Do you mind if we all move into this dome?
Yes, please. It's so
Of course.
not as hot.
She kind of gives a notification, and eventually all of you kind of meander over to the dome. You walk for a little bit before you kind of stop and look back, and you see back in the alleyway, Marion's kind of...
Mama. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh yes. Oh.
I
Here. Ford,
Yes?
help Mama.
Yeah, of course. Marion, please, come take my hand.
I'm gonna go off by myself for just a moment.
Come with me. It'll be fine.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on, Ford.
18 plus. Natural 1. A lot. Scroll up, you bastard. Sorry, 23.
She looks at you kind of... Well, if you insist.
Don't flirt with him, Mama.
Just a... What?
Nothing.
She takes a deep breath,
Jester's mom.
kind of closes her eyes, squeezes your hand, and begins to just slowly walk along with you and trying to control her breath. And slowly, you guide her outside of the alleyway into the open cobblestone streets of Zadash. And she's kind of just holding her eyes closed tight and just kind of letting you guide her.
I'm gonna fall back behind them and watch and make sure, she's doing okay. But I'm going to send a message to my dad.
Okay.
Who I never checked with to make sure any of this was okay.
When do you ever?
Yeah, well.
We're coming up for...
Parent shot.
Could be there soon.
Hey, Dad. Ding dong. Crazy stuff happened. So Mama and Veth's family are going to come stay with you for a while. Super important. They need to be kept safe. Help.
There's a pause. And eventually, you're worried maybe he didn't hear it. And then you get a response. Oh. Boy. Well. And that's it. As you all make your way to the entrance to the evening nip, you enter the familiar shaded interior. As you kind of lead Marion to the door, she puts her hand out and touches it and kind of... At which point she turns around and opens her eyes finally to look at the surrounding buildings and the walls and the people in the streets, and she just goes... I've never been here. Thank you.
Your daughter's been to some incredible places.
Oh. Oh.
I'll come up on the other side and hold her hand as we go in. This is going to be quite an adventure.
and you see her nerves have shifted. At once time it was a oncoming panic attack, has now transitioned into a nervous butterflies meets jumble of emotions as you approach and you see the familiar head of the
Can I help you?
Oh yeah, what's the
bearing
we come bearing gifts.
Or we come with great gifts or something like that. Many gifts, many gifts.
You've got to work on that.
We offer many gifts?
Yeah, something like that. We've been here like 6 times.
Come on.
Yes. I will cut you.
Turning to the trapdoor, you descend the stairs where you hear conversation and shifting, the familiar of wood scraping across ground and furniture being shifted. There's a big hustle and bustle, and as you step down, you can see a bunch of people are in the process of kind of cleaning and arranging things. As you see the back of the gentleman, he turns around and goes, trains his eyes immediately on Marion. Welcome. You see everyone kind of scatter and turn as the gentleman bows and says, welcome. Welcome, friends. I am the gentleman, a businessman and occasional client of these mighty nine. I appreciate privacy and discretion, so please respect that during your stay, he says in the direction of the Bernados. Looks towards Marion. The famed Ruby of the Sea has joined us as well for a spell. Friends and esteemed business liaisons, please make her feel welcome, lest you draw my wrath. Come. Settle in the space. Drinks, anyone? Those of a decent passive perception notice, he's a pretty damp fellow at most times, but he's particularly drippy at the moment.
Drippy. Drippy.
I squeeze my mama's hand.
She kind of takes a moment. Well, thank you, gentlemen, very much for taking us into your protected space for a time. It's much appreciated. And he kind of gives a nod. Well, come sit. And he kind of scratches his head. Everyone's kind of looking at him from around the room, waiting for something.
A round of drinks, I think, would be a good idea.
Drinks sounds fantastic. I'll have one myself. And the bartender starts making rounds and just getting cups out, and people start kind of picking up a bit of a conversation. There's whispers around them as some folks settle back down, but all eyes are kind of locked on all of you and the new arrivals. Luke is still clutching on the edge of Caduceus's finger and looks over towards you and just goes,
No, he hasn't taken a bath recently. That's just how he always looks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have to take a bath?
I mean, at some point, yes, we should get you a bath. When's the last bath you had?
Looks over to his dad and Yeza goes, it's not been that long.
Sure. You don't want to dry out his hair or anything, but,
It's kind of hard to wrestle down when you're, just one person. But yeah, I think a bath soon will be good.
That's a great idea.
So we're in a bar under a bar?
Yes, it's a secret place, but they have good food here and good drinks, and we'll get you a glass of milk, and maybe they have some chicken fingers.
Yeah. At which point immediately Luke is like, what?
Yeah.
Not real fingers.
Oh no, not real fingers, sorry, no. They're just in the shape of.
So it's like eating a finger?
Oh boy. Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you can dip it in ketchup and it looks like blood.
You hear this little voice on the side go like, chicken fingers.
What?
And you recognize the creepy halfling individual that works underneath gentleman who's just kind of. You need food.
I don't remember this guy.
I feel like we would have remembered him.
I'm so glad because I was like, dang, this guy.
You've met him a couple of times.
I'm looking.
I think a little bit of everything, and learn to read the table.
Okay. And he just kind of wanders off. This is odd figure.
What's my mother look like right now? What is she doing?
She's still kind of standing next to you. She's kind of holding your hand and kind of. You get the sense that she's waiting for your guidance.
I'm going to put my arm around her waist and whisper in her ear, "How are you? Are you okay?"
I think so. A lot has happened very quickly, and sure, her eyes are just locked on the gentleman as he's like telling people to like clean tables off and getting a drink, and you see him like take a cup and take a glass, kind of like a giant glass jug of some sort of brackish liquor, and just like into his cup before takes a quick swig and kind of like gets himself settled, turns around, and she's just staring straight at him.
He seems nervous, Mama.
I can't imagine why.
Do you want to go sit at a corner table over there? I can send him over. Or...
Certainly.
Okay.
Where is best to sit?
I look for the most important looking table. The most private looking, important looking
That's usually the one that he has in the far back left corner.
I'm going to send her right to his table then.
All right. She goes over and goes to sit, and you can see two of the kind of thug guards that were there they took some sort of series of cloth napkins and kind of tucked them in the front of their pants to look almost like waiters, and they're just like holding the chair for her. They're both looking at each other like, I don't know what I'm doing.
No, just hanging out, and also kind of peeking every once in a while on Marion, seeing how she's doing and if she's made any moves to the gentleman.
I'm distracting her at the table,
Mm-hmm.
telling her stories, and just trying to keep things light while also keeping an eye on the gentleman.
He has not left his room. But Marion is very happy to catch up with you. She's adjusting to this unfamiliar space and is liking the attention. And with her presence, too, you can see a lot of people in the room, a lot of the employees of the gentleman who at first were kind of taken aback and awkward are starting to kind of listen into. They're starting to get invested in these tales that your mom's telling. And once again, she carries the room. She definitely, it's hard for eyes not to eventually fall upon her with her just force of personality and charisma. And as you guys are talking, there are a few moments where you kind of stop and extend your awareness beyond just the two of you, and you can tell the whole room is kind of leaning in your direction. But yeah, she seems to be in better spirits now that you're out of this chaos that you've been dragged through these past day and a half. But she goes, Jester, I get the sense, with everything that you've told me, that what you're all going to do, all of this sounds extremely dangerous. And I know you will do wonderfully. You have every time. You continue to surprise everyone. You consistently break expectations. You, my Sapphire, are capable of anything.
It's very dangerous. I don't know what exactly we're going to have to do. The last time we tried to go against these people, it went really bad. I didn't want to tell you. I don't know. I don't know if we'll come back. I think we will. I hope we will. But, if we have to stop them and it takes us with it, then that I think will be worth it. That will be worth it.
She puts her hands out, kind of clasps yours in hers. Sometimes fate brings us to places we never expect to be. And there are rare moments where individuals have the chance to really change the future for everyone else. To protect those who may or may not know that they need protecting. And I am challenged to find a word to describe how proud I am of everything that you've done. But you are my sapphire. And I want you safe. I don't want a martyr for a daughter.
I don't want to be a martyr. I want to come home.
Good. Promise me that you will, if it begins to look very bad, that you come home.
I promise.
I'm sorry, I know I'm being a little selfish here, but...
No.
Just...
It will be okay, Mama.
You're so smart, and you have such talented friends around you. I have all the faith. And you're smarter than all of them. So if they need to be reminded...
Some of them are really smart. Really smart.
But none are you.
You'll be safe here. And you don't have to stay forever. Just, you know. Just for a while. Okay. Maybe you can give a concert later. That could be fun. A secret concert. That could be bad. Don't give a concert. That would let people know you're here. That was stupid. Don't do that. Just for Papa. Or not, if you don't want to. Oh my gosh.
She kind of reaches out and like grabs the edge of your chin and just kind of makes you look at her. You can see her eyes watering. I'm proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
I know you'll come back.
Of course.
It seems eventually everyone does. She kind of looks off towards the staircase.
He'll come down soon enough.
I don't know if he will. He seemed pretty spooked.
Well, nobody's gone up there.
She takes her wine and drinks heavily. Sets it down. And she stands up. Grabs and squeezes your hand for a moment. Begins humming under her breath. And then kind of slowly walks through the room towards the stairs.
I just watch her. Hello? Hello?
Who is it?
Am I interrupting anything? Are you maybe having some secret?
I can't hear you. Who is it?
It's your daughter. Hello?
Just a second. And you hear the footsteps.
Hello?
2, 3 locks undo before it swings open.
Hi.
And there you see the gentleman, like deep, deep blue cerulean robe kind of crossed over in front. Oh, Jester, hi. I didn't know you were coming.
No, I know. I didn't tell you.
Of course.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's the morning. It's just past daybreak. Make a perception check, sure.
Oh. 20. What's 23?
23. As the gentleman is standing there, kind of like pushed into, you glance over the shoulder and mostly covered by the covers of the bed, you do see the familiar red horns and appearance of a sleeping Marion faced away towards the
Parent trap work.
Brown.
Oh, shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Are you two totally in love? Oh my gosh!
we had
I'm so happy for that push underneath his arm and running.
Jester. You rush in just as Marion's like rolling over the bed.
Mama!
Jester! And immediately she stands up, full, no clothes, just gives you a big embrace and...
Here's some sheets.
She runs over and gets her robe and puts it on. Or she doesn't even have a robe, she has her outfit she wore from before.
What are you guys up to?
Well, and Marion just goes,
Okay, well, the world isn't ending. Isn't that so wonderful?
I told him, and that is wonderful news, and I'm so glad that you're okay. And the gentleman's like, we're catching up on lost time conversations. You know.
Yeah. So are you totally good here? Did you want to come stay at a cemetery instead, maybe for a week?
What?
There's this really beautiful cemetery. There's lots of flowers and like it's glowy and there's trees and it's totally isolated. You know, it's like a little cottagey sort of getaway if you wanted like a little week-long vacation or something.
That does sound quite adorable. Is it like a private affair for the two of us?
No, there will be a whole family of... and like a lot of other, like my friends and stuff.
I think we're okay, but thank you, Jester. I appreciate it.
But if you want, you know, I don't know what to offer. You could camp a little bit away from everyone, maybe, and have like some.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Been to Coachella, bro.
Camping trip.
Wow. Glamping with your dad.
Person.
Yeah.
Persuasion. 15. That's honestly not terrible.
You're not
Honestly,
selling
not
them on your roll. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's honestly not terrible.
Volvo. Honestly, not terrible.
Marion,
Sorry.
Marion kind of looks at him and looks at you, and he goes, I do appreciate the offer, but not quite my aesthetic.
Right.
And Marion goes, that's all right, Chester. We've been good here for the time being and just waiting. If you say that everything is done, then are we good to go back?
Well, no. We're still working on... Basically, what happened was we went to this giant city made of flesh and killed some evil... Lots of evil there. We basically killed the city.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, that's gone, but there's still a lot of people here that hate us. So we're going to try to make it to where they don't, you know? I'm not exactly sure how. I'm sure other people are working on that. I just want to make sure that you're okay here and you don't need to go back to Nicodranus right away because that's probably still not safe. But I will let you know as soon as it is.
Oh, I don't mind staying here a bit longer. Gentleman just goes, grabs a half-drinking glass of wine from the side of his bed for his early morning drink and just goes,
She'll be safe here for as long as she wishes to stay, and when things are safe, let us know, and we'll go ahead and bring her back to her home in Nicodranus.
And Marion kind of looks over at him.
You can come and visit whenever you like.
She looks at him and a harder look. He goes,
And I can come visit, right?
And she gives him a harder look and he goes,
We have a lot to talk about.
This is all complicated for me. I need another drink. And he goes and like starts pouring the wine back into the glass and she looks back at you and she gives you like a wink and a smile.
Side note, I'm just gonna go whisper up into my mom's ear. I am, you know, a registered cleric. If ever you need ceremonies performed or anything like that. Also, I know a really beautiful
She puts her
island
hand
that-
over your mouth and goes,
Babanon, we're going to just go for a little walk and mother-daughter talk, if you don't mind.
Yes. Of course, yeah. By all means. You know where to find me. And he goes and lifts the glass and sips it a bit, and he turns back, and through all the fluster of it, you do see him kind of smile, looking over at you and Marion side by side. She gets up and finishes putting on the rest of her outfit and leads you back down the stairs and kind of finds the corner table in the side and sits down with you and just goes,
I appreciate your gusto with this circumstance.
Right.
My Sapphire. But this will take some time, if anything. I understand the need for the hope for some sort of whirlwind romance. But the fact of the matter is, your father and I are very different people than we were. And we have a lot of getting to know each other again. And even then,
and she kind of glances around.
He works in a complicated business.
Yeah, he does some shady shit.
Me and him have talked a little bit, and he cares for you more than I think he's willing to admit. And I think he still has some care for me. And in doing so, I think he understands that he could bring unwanted circumstances into our lives. So, whatever this looks like, whatever it may or may not be, it needs to be done with care and respect.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, I need you to.
And she like kind of catches your chin and pulls you into lock with her eyes. Says,
I need to know that you're okay with that.
I just want you to be happy.
Of course. I never wasn't. I had you, didn't I?
I'm not always going to be here.
I know.
As long as you're happy, I'm happy.
I know.
And the one tear kind of rolls down the cheek as she wipes it.
I've gotten through my entire life not making expectations of the future. Just enjoying the now. Things I can't control, things that are beyond my vision, make me uncomfortable. So, I focus on what's here. And I am fulfilled. As long as I get to have you in my life, as long as you promise to come by and visit.
And she looks back over her shoulder up towards the balcony where you can see he's kind of leaning over a bit with his glass, looking, and then he kind of quickly averts his gaze.
She looks back at you. Even if he just comes to visit every now and then too, that would be wonderful. I have many people that come and visit, and I have many friends. Many people that do care for me.
I know, Mama. So many people care for you.
But as long as the important one is there, then I'm happy. I can make no promises. Life is complicated. This is complicated, but it has been nice to remember what things were like, to imagine what they could have been. Be glad things happened the way they did, because it, well, look who you are. You're stronger than I could ever be. And you've only just begun. I do not think Exandria is ready for how you're going to change it in your life, Jester. That makes me happy.
I give her a kiss on the cheek.
She just pulls you in for a tight hug.
Sure. Any other burning questions?
I have one more.
Go.
Did Marion and the gentleman...
Oh, yes!
I think
What becomes of them?
I think that they like re-sparked their romance and spent some time together, and then began to really realize that their lives have diverged to a point where his lifestyle is dangerous and he is intrinsically tied to it. And so they went their separate ways. She went back to Nicodranas and he stayed there. Then orchestrated his false demise a few years later and left his crew under the care of Ophelia Mardoon, who wanted to be done with Shady Creek Run.
Bride? Faking his death?
Yeah. And so now his previous crew have become part of Ophelia Mardoon's network, and she's kind of absconded from Shady Creek Run to take over for him. That's nice. And eventually he shows up as a patron, looking a little different at the chateau, and there he retired incognito with her in Nicodranas.
That's the most beautiful story.
Danny's losing it.
I'm losing it.
That's good.
Hackneyed, maybe?
I don't know, man. I was accepting it.